So I'm going to add an addendum at the beginning of this review. So on your screen, you may see blue boxes pop up. I want you to pay very close attention to these blue boxes as the review is pretty much done. I'm editing it, but some things have changed. The Pokemon Company did address issues. Some things have changed, so I will be adding boxes across this review if it has changed. So sometimes it'll say this hasn't changed, sometimes it'll say this has changed for this. Like at one point I will talk about a weighted catch rate with the Pokeballs, which has now been addressed and fixed, so keep your eye on the boxes. Pokemon Go fix your servers, Pokemon Go find a better game, Pokemon Go and put it on the DS. So many choices for a title. Wait, I got another one. Pokemon Go and stop draining my battery. So, Pokemon Go is taking the world by storm. But, does it live up to the expectations? Well, let's find out. And I've never really reviewed or even touched a phone game before, as, let's all be fair, they're not real games. It's not something like Overwatch 15-minute online matches or my own games that are 6-hour adventures. No, they're 5-minute time wasters. You know, like Angry Birds, or the game that Andy put on my phone when I was visiting called Spikes, where you tap back and forth with more spikes showing up every successful tap, and other modes like Park, with every 5-minute game ending and giving you a few extra candies or crystals to buy new skins. I myself have got the chicken skin, as, you know, Chocolina. Not saying anything, but I would put on a chicken suit and start clucking for her. Yes, Chocolina, if you know what I mean. But Pokemon Go is not like this. It's one continuous game that lasts forever, and there is no chicken jokes to be made here. So unlike a game like Spikes that is tap and play, there is quite a bit of setup and other hidden stuff I'll go into later. So join me as I document my journey of these 2 days and how it went. So, for a start off, it takes a while to get into the game, what with pick your gender, name, customise your trainer and such, but then the new professor says there are some starters nearby, and here's some Pokeballs, and I'm taken to this screen. Here, in the sea of blue, I'm tapping on Charmander, and nothing. Nothing is working. What's going on? I'm tapping Charmander, turning my phone to tap on Charmander, tapping on Charmander upside down, sliding my finger across Charmander like I'm trying to seduce him. Nothing. But maybe this is the point where I'm supposed to get up and walk around. I mean, my little avatar's on screen, so I assume this is the point where I'm supposed to walk. So, here I am, getting up and walking around my house, and still nothing. I'm not running into the Charmander. Then I start shaking the phone, and still nothing. Fuck you, game! I just want my Charmander! Is that so much to ask? Is it just so much to ask to get a Charmander so I can evolve it into a Charizard, and I can have that big, strong, dominant fire dragon hold me in his arms while he slowly pushes his big, hard, throbbing... Sorry, lost my train of thought there, but I'm losing it here. I just want my Charmander to start my adventure. But it's not that easy, as you can't just pick up and play. Oh no, you need a lot of shit switched on, that being internet, GPS, roaming, and data. Keep that data one in mind for later, which are all located deep within the settings of the phone. Now, as stated, I know shit about new phones, so others might just know this right away and boom, 2 seconds, done. But for me, I had to look up a guide on how to do this, which is not the best thing and I find kind of silly, but again, I'm just shit at phones. But hey, now I've got it all switched on, I've caught my starter, and I'm ready to get into the game for real. Only I can't. I'll come back to this, as this is a big point I want to focus on more, but after a trip to town and back, I got it fully working and was greeted by both positives and negatives, which, after the customization thing, I'll show more pictures of, as it looks a lot nicer than the crappy shaky cam. But as I just said, there is customization, which is really good, except the customization is extremely limited. I mean, look at these shoes, there's only like 3, and they don't even change all that much. The graphics are pretty good for a mobile game. Granted, the Sea of Green is a little bit drab, as well as the roads on the Sea of Green, but the little hotspot sites, the gyms, and the sprites of all the Pokemon look really nice and well made. The music is great and sounds like a real Pokemon game. And best of all, it's free! Oh wait, no it isn't. Yeah, remember that thing that I held off on saying for a moment when I said I've got all the GPS and all that switched on and working now so I can dive into the game for real? Except I can't. Well, you see, I got all of the GPS and stuff switched on and the game booted up, this time with a map, so I could catch my starter Pokemon, which is technically not part of the main game. So I caught Charmander, and the professor said basically, right, you're ready to start your Pokemon adventure for realsies, so now let's dive into the world of Pokemon. And I was greeted by a really, really long-ass loading screen that you can see here, which, by the by, as you can also see, is starting to drain my battery like crazy. But we will come back to that. Anyway, after that long-ass loading screen that was so long I got bored and actually started walking into town, it turns into a white screen that loads forever. It will never change. So, at first, I thought, okay, bit of a crash, I can deal with that. So I shut the game down, and then I loaded the application up this time. This time, though, to see a message from the phone itself, before the game took me back to the forever loading white room. So, I was like, oh, that's a bit weird. Now, it would have been a bit weird, but the message that I'm withholding from you said something about money. And seems I was going into town that day, I slipped into the phone shop to get some hard evidence, and a lovely man named Matt put everything I would need onto a piece of paper for me. And after finding what I found out, I'm kind of shocked that no one else is really bringing this up. In Haydoc's review, it's nowhere to be seen or even mentioned. A non-review but Pokemon-orientated channels like Verlis or Velisify are so caught up in the hype that they only tangentially mention it when it should be made a big deal out of. That is data roaming. Whatever the App Store says, do not be fooled. Pokemon Go is not a free game. It will say it's one and trick you into thinking it's one, but it's not. But you see, at the start, when you switch on the GPS and all that other stuff, that means that you're now using data, which costs real world money. And also, keep in mind that this is something that's meant to run in the background. So, it's constantly using data, which means it's constantly draining money as well as your battery. Some like Swoop are like, who cares? I've got unlimited data for $15 a month. Well, good for you. But that's you. One person. And there will be kids and such that won't know of this scummy little secret. You know, switch their data on without knowing, and because they are not unlimited, boom, there goes all of their money, or there's their contract going through the roof. It's like my friend Photon said. Last month, his contract bill was a little bit higher than normal because he was doing some scout training or something, and it was using the GPS. So for him, he was using data at that point, which means his phone bill was a little bit higher. And if I had not told him that Pokemon Go was also using this kind of data, his bill would have probably gone through the roof. And it's shit how much data this thing supposedly uses. Now, I've been with my phone provider for 10 years. O2 are a fairly good company and they're pretty good with their customers and their deals, so I see no reason to switch. Because of this, I can get a deal which is unlimited data for £1 a day, right? So, I did a test. That white loading forever screen was because I had no money in my phone. So I went to town and I put £10 on my phone to see how fast it takes that £1 away. So I topped up, keeping in mind not to switch the app back on until I was out of town and I was in the location I wanted. That being this massive field behind my house and that forest that is behind the fields. And then I would switch it on, while also switching on the notifications of when I had reached the normal £1 limit and was about to go unlimited because of the deal. So, after switching the app and the notifications on, I walked around the field for a while, found an Ekans and a Ponyta, and there was nothing else. So, I sat around for a while and I walked into the other field to see what was there. Nothing. So I did what you're supposed to do with the app. That is, lock your phone and put it in your pocket and it will vibrate once something is up. With the phone in pocket, I thought, next stop is that small forest area. I bet there's some nice Pokemon in there. And on the way to the forest, keep in mind I had screwed around in the field for a good while. It vibrated. Oh, a new Pokemon perhaps? No, it was the notification that I had used my £1 worth of data and was about to go unlimited. That's barely an hour! That's barely scraping an hour, which is ridiculous. Again, it's a good thing I have got the unlimited, or that £10 would have lasted 10 hours, 11 hours at most. But even with unlimited data for £1 a day, that's still only 10 days worth of play before I have to put more money into the phone. So be aware, viewer, this is not a free game. This game runs on data and will cost money even if you're not playing it to find the Pokemon. So, if you are on a pay-as-you-go, then spend wisely. Or, if you're on a contract, again, be sure to check your contracts and use the app responsibly and only when you can afford it. Now, if that was not bad enough that the game costs money to play via data consumption, they also have the balls to put in microtransactions. And this is not the good kind of microtransactions, this is the bad kind. The game has been designed in such a way to forcefully test your will. From my experience, there are quite a few hotspots that give you a few Pokeballs, sometimes Great Balls, but the catch rate for, like, everything seems suspiciously low. I used most of my balls on the Ponyta and the other half on the Ekans. By the time I was going to walk into that forest, I only had 3 Pokeballs and 1 Great Ball left. And it's done so that if you see something rare or super amazing, like Dunsparce, you might not have any balls left, or be it due to what seems like a very weighted catch rate, you are going to run out. But it's a Dunsparce, man! I need Dunsparce! He's like the best Pokemon! But I'm all out of balls! The game then slyly and coyly whistles innocently while holding up a great big paywall of different amounts of balls for different real-world prices, while also coyly suggesting that you could also buy a few Pokecoins with some more real-life money, so I can buy other stuff like mystery eggs, to which I tell the game to piss off, because as that is not a Dunsparce that is on my table. That is my house keys, and nobody gives a fuck about my house keys. Make it a Dunsparce and I would have cared. But, joking aside, it does seem slightly weighted in the microtransactions favour. Not completely, but it's certainly got a little bit of weightedness towards the microtransactions to definitely niggle at your willpower. Just slightly chip away at it bit by bit. So far I have not broken, and by the end of this review you'll see why I won't be broken. But joking aside, 3 Pokeballs and 1 Great Ball might be able to get something good out of that forest. So I strolled over to said forest, and after a few minutes in the forest, collected a few more Pokeballs, my phone vibrated. Oh man, what could it be? Is it a Beedrill that can penetrate me with that big, long, hard antenna? Or is it an Ariados that can wrap me up in her web, because we all like a little bit of Spider-Girl action? Don't lie to me, Alexander Ravens and Console Command, and the rest of you. I know how much you want Widowmaker's ass. Or maybe it's a Scyther, because Scyther is the best and the coolest looking bug Pokemon ever created. And oh my god, that suit looks awesome, I need it now. Please take my money, please Psycho Pharaoh, I need it now. So which was it? Well, none of the above. It was the servers are experiencing technical issues, please come back later. And this is a big problem, as it never stops. Half the time you will be on your Pokemon journey, and the other half the time you will be looking at this message screen. In the house, right next to the internet while you're having breakfast, or in the forest looking for cool ass Pokemon like Scyther. This screen remains pretty much constant, and by the time you get past this, your battery is probably just about dead, as this thing has mad crazy battery drain, like literally an hour. Yesterday, I did a vlog of me walking to town and back and showing that it was nearly dead, and when I was walking home, like pretty much as soon as I closed the vlog off and ended the vlog video, my phone died. So it's pretty much constant, and depending on the phone itself, it's only going to last around an hour, 2 hours tops. And while my phone does not do this, I've had reports from people like NW Player and others saying that this battery issue can turn the phone red hot, which could be damaging the hardware inside the phone, but nothing has been proven on that. Only that it can make the phone quite warm in some cases. And another, again, while nothing's been proven, an NW Player and other software hackers and hardware modders are looking into this, there is a rumour that it can brick a phone, or at the very least, soft lock it, whatever that means. So just keep that in mind. So, again, if you are of a younger age and are planning on getting this game, be aware of how bad it drains the battery. Be sure to call someone if you need a lift, and make sure you have extra battery packs or wireless chargers or something, so that you're not caught alone in the twilight hours, as it's more important to stay safe than catch that Pikachu. Also, it's even more important to not break into someone's fucking house to get a Pidgey, which is so ridiculous that there are now memes being made of it. Because Pokemon can spawn in random and restricted places, like inside of someone's house, with Beast Club admitting he saw one of the rare house Pokemon and even thought about jumping their fence into their back garden to get it, with others posting their silly pictures of where the Pokemon have shown up, like this Ghastly behind a counter, and others making jokes about going into these restricted military-controlled areas just for that Mew. What the fuck, Nintendo or Pokemon Company? I get that they're randomly spawning, but if you can make it so that they don't randomly spawn in the middle of the road, so no one gets hit by a car, then you could make it so they don't randomly spawn in people's houses, causing people to commit breaking and entering. But hey, it's not like anyone can even see the Pokemon, as 80% of the time all you will see is this. The other 10% of the time your battery has drained and died, and then when the planets do align the other 10% of the time you'll get to play. But again, for everyone, this is a new genre, this is a new kind of thing, right? So if you are on your own Pokemon journey, don't be fucking stupid. If you know that Charizard down the street is in the middle of the hood in my nigger's dealing house, it's not worth getting a cap in your ass. Or if it's behind the bank counter like Ghastly, it's not worth going to jail. What are you in for? I killed a man with my bare hands. You? I assassinated the robot monk president man and almost killed Tracer. You little child? I tried to get behind the bank counter to get that Mewtwo. Rough times. But once you're out, you could always join Team Rocket. Yes, they could always use more scumbags like you. And that's about it. There's no trading. Battles are very limited and automatic. So we'll just go on to the final verdict. So, my final verdict for Pokemon Go is a potato battery powered server out of 10, which translates to a 2 out of 5. Is this a bad game? Hell no. Just a disappointing game, which makes it far worse. Don't get me wrong, I love the idea of Pokemon Go. I want it to be good, and I'll scream to the heavens to make this shit good. I want to take you all on my weekly walks, do a full Let's Play of Pokemon Go, us getting out there and seeing the world together. But I can't, as it's just not ready, or it was made for the wrong reasons. I love the idea of being in a Pokemon-filled universe, but the servers make it very hard to do that, as half the time they are down. So it's kind of hard to splice past me and future me together. This is now future Spyro talking, doing some post-editing here. I'm about to talk about the servers being down. They're no longer down. They are completely fixed. It all works great. It only went down once on a full 8-hour day that me and my friend did. The Pokeball situation where it was slightly weighted has been fixed, and now Pokemon capture nearly first go every time. There was only a few times where it broke out, but it only broke out once or twice. Nothing as ridiculous as the day one incident. A lot of stuff has been fixed, so I don't know if I say it in this review that's coming up, but I think I mentioned it somewhere, but just in case I didn't, I'll add this future part. But that 2 out of 5, let's change it right now. Bam, it's a 3 out of 5, because it has got so much better since the patch that happened today, and I was driving around with my friend. I mean, it's actually a lot better than a 3 out of 5 now. It's closer to a 4 out of 5. They have fixed a lot of issues, and the game is a lot more balanced and fun, and I have something to show you. I won't say what it is yet, but just stay tuned at the end of the video for something that I'll attach to it. I will make it its own separate video as well, but you're going to get a little sneak peek at the end of this review, so stay tuned. And as for the 3 out of 5 thing, it's good. It's a lot of the issues have been fixed, and I want to say it's a 4 out of 5, but there's still quite a few issues, like the battery issue, the thing that makes your phone hot, because that was proven true, and my friend's phone does get quite hot. Some of the GPS not working some of the times, and the battery issues drag it down. So while they've fixed a lot of issues, and I want to give it a 4 out of 5, it's not quite at a 4 out of 5. So call it a 3.5 if you want. You know, I'm never going to do anything by halves with these gems. So future Spyro says, yes, it is a 3.5 out of 5. It's slightly above a 3, but because we only work in whole numbers, it's just getting a 3 out of 5 for now. But No, it is a little bit higher than a 3 because of the things they fixed. Alright, I'll let past Spyro moan about things that aren't even real anymore. I want to catch the rare Pokemon, but sometimes they end up in places where you can't get them, like in someone's house. I want to enjoy the game, but it kills the battery after a few hours. There is truly a fantastic concept and a truly great game in here. But as of right now, there are so many problems with it, it restricts it from shining as bright as it could be. And that makes me sad. But its biggest problem is not the potato-powered battery servers, not the Giga Drain battery, not even the breaking and entering. No, its biggest flaw, and the one that ultimately kills it, is the microtransactions and the money it sneakily takes from data consumption. Pokemon Go is the very definition of pay-to-play and fee-to-pay combined into one. It is a game that rewards those with the bigger wallet over those with a spirit of adventure that would travel around with this thing. If you are not on any kind of unlimited contract, you can be looking up to $5 to $7 a day depending on your service provider, which, if you have a responsible £20, $30 budget, is only going to get you 4 days of play, plus all the extras you might spend on balls if you run out, because the catch rate is suspiciously low. And it seems that Nintendo, or Pokemon Company, whichever one of the two it is, only put this on the phone for that exact reason. I don't know how it works, but all the money that data consumption is getting for the phone companies, it seems like Nintendo's getting a slice of that somewhere down the line, which seems to be all Nintendo's in it for nowadays. Like, to me, Pokemon Go should have been a full $60 release on the 3DS. It would have been so much better and would have worked like Street Pass, so it vibrates when a Pokemon is nearby. You'll never charge data roaming because it would have been a $60 game, which would have covered that. And there will be no microtransactions because, again, it would have been a full $60, more planned, more thought out experience rather than this cheap cash-in for a phone. And if you're going to say, how can that even happen because like a 3DS doesn't have a GPS and stuff in it? Well, let's talk about Pokemon Go Plus, that watch. Now, that watch is $30. I didn't get the watch, apparently it's extremely rare. Nintendo already sold out of their stock on Nintendo's official website, but all it is a Bluetooth device, nothing else. It doesn't do anything else. It just flashes when Pokemon are nearby, but you can set your phone to vibrate to do that anyway, so it's kind of pointless. Now, you could have made Pokemon Go Plus a full GPS Bluetooth system, so the Pokemon Go Plus could have been the GPS, could have been the Bluetooth, could have been the data collection roaming thing. That Pokemon Go Plus watch could have been all you needed and have the watch interact with your DS. That's how it would have worked. And then that's where the full $60 thing would have come in, because you'd be getting a physical SD card of the game and the Pokemon Go Plus watch bundled into one box. So it would have been a full $60 experience, which would have worked, and it could have worked. But again, they went for this cheap cash-in for a genre that no one really plays. Like, I've never said gaming on phones does not have its place. Angry Birds, Spikes, Clicker Heroes, they all have their place on a phone as a 15-minute time waster. Something for a bus or a train ride to kill your commute. But that's all a phone is good for. Whereas a DS is dedicated to real games. The unit costs far less than a smartphone, and it would have been better than this fee-to-pay, pay-to-play mobile cash grab experience. And some of you are still excited. I'm probably going to get it. And I can say, good for you. Enjoy it to the best you can with all of its errors. As for the server problems, seems this is now being written like just after the final verdict. Server problems are now fixed. They are completely fixed. I've got a lot of people saying it's good. My friend has just said it's all working. So let's just quickly change these 2 gems here from a 2 out of 5 to a 3 out of 5. Now that the servers are fixed, so we're going to see if we can maybe have another quick test of this. I'm going to Burton Lake. And yes, I've just come back from Burton Lake. It works. Servers are up. 1 problem fixed. You've just earned yourself an extra gem. So, yeah, it's got flaws, but a lot of people are still going to get it. And I'm still believing in this project when they can fix a few of the other errors. But just remember, if you are getting it, again, because I want you, my audience, to be smart and be safe. Know your data consumption limits. Do not spend what you don't have. Make sure to take extra charges and such to let everyone know you're safe and where you are before your phone dies. And don't wander into bad places to get those Pokemon. As for everyone else, it's not really worth the $600 or whatever stupid price a good smartphone is. As the guy in the phone store I was talking to says, it takes a lot of processing power to run it, and you need an iPhone 5 or a Galaxy S6 at the very least to run this. Then however much your server provider is going to charge you in data usage, plus all the microtransactions that you might buy, you might as well take that $700 and buy an actual Pokemon suit. Like this awesome Scyther suit. You know, on the smartphone, I paid $600 to look at a picture of Scyther, whereas I can get a suit for the same price, and with that, I can wear it, walk around in it, act like a Scyther for conventions, and so on. You know, you're getting more bang for your buck as it stands right now, and far more enjoyment out of it. As of right now, I could be dressed up as a Scyther all day, 24-hour bug fun for $600. But here is 2 hours of bug fun, then your phone will die because of the battery problems. Then you come back and you have to hope the servers are not down, which now they probably won't be down, but there's still a chance they could be down, so you'll have to wait until they get back up to get into that Scyther goodness. Or, you know, pseudo-wudo if you're a fucking weirdo.